go. Good morning, Columbus, and welcome to another edition of From Our House to Your Home, the Remodelers Showcase. My name is Marty Reed. I'm your host, and the show is brought to you by Frog Hauling. If you need to clean your garage, your basement, your yard, think of Frog Hauling. And if you're a remodeling contractor and only the best product will do for your customer, think of Frog Hauling. We carry 5 different sizes of containers so you don't pay for more container than you need. Well, today we have a repeat guest.
Yeah.
Susan Dyas of Epic Group, Ohio. Thank you for coming back on the show, Susan. I appreciate it. I'm going to put you on the spot. I always do, right?
Go for it. I'm ready. I've had some caffeine.
Okay. You get to introduce yourself, your company,
Okay.
and you get to talk about your grandchild if you want.
Well, that's good. You know, that you just made my day then.
I said the magic word,
you
excuse me.
certainly did. That's so funny. So Epic Group Ohio is a Dublin-based renovation and addition company. The company consists of my husband and I, Bob Dyas, and we have one business partner whose name is Joe Minardo, and so the three of us own the business and run all the jobs, and we have one very important person on our team that is our only employee, and his name is Brad Creesh. He's been a trim carpenter here in the Columbus area for many years, and is just very talented, and it's great to have him as a part of the team. So yeah, we're right here, right locally, you know, kind of stay around here on the west side of Columbus. Most of our work is somewhere from Powell down to Grandview, I would say, you know.
And I know that to be a fact because I'm going to say this. We provide dumpsters for you.
Yes, you do. Yeah, you sure do.
And Joe, we did mention you.
Since
You're
I'm
not the
married
forgotten
to him,
soul.
Always forget to mention Joe. Poor Joe.
Well, I always, you know, it's kind of, I talk to Joe on the phone every now and then, and let's see, 2 years ago, we golfed together at the Neary outing, and he couldn't make it this year because he said, I'm just too busy, I'm too busy. But we did get a good ringer. So, Joe, I can't say that you were totally missed. You golf like me, but anyways. Okay. You are a design, build, remodeling firm. Let's start with, tell the folks the kind of projects. Do you have a specialty, or are you kind of a do-it-all from room additions to roofs? Tell them what you do.
You know, we actually laugh when Bob and Joe started this company several years ago. They had a couple of really basic taglines that I had to kind of work on a little once.
Okay.
Because let's see, I think they were tossing around, if it's broke, we can fix it. You know, which is a good favorite of mine.
They're creative like me. Is that what
Really,
you're trying?
really.
Yeah. Okay.
But then one that did kind of stick around a while and does make sense is from curb to roof. So, you know, we with our experience, we've done everything from custom new homes, you know, from the ground up.
Yeah.
We do a lot of water remediation. I mean, like, you know, there's a lot of homes and a lot of condominiums actually in the Columbus area that were built probably in the last 15 to 20 years that there must have just been some crazy things happening with the building code, or, you know, so there was something
Really?
on it that a lot of these weren't getting flashed appropriately. And so we do a lot of repair work.
Is that from the roofs you mean when you say it's built?
No, it's really more about around the windows.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, and you know, if that water's getting in behind your exterior siding, it's rotting the sheeting, you know, I mean, it can lead to some significant problems. So we do have one little division of the company, I would say, that does a lot of work for property management companies for that specific purpose. But from that point forward, we're really very diverse. We do a lot of two-story additions. We do a lot of whole house renovations. You know, maybe someone just bought a house. They know it needs everything top to bottom. So before they even move in, you know, we're doing everything for them. We also do a lot of additions and renovations that, you know, the folks are having to live through, and that's certainly no fun for anybody, but we figure out how to get through it.
Kitchens, baths, the standard kind of stuff.
Yeah, kitchens, baths, finished basements. you know, and it's funny, every area has its own thing that you see a little more of. And in Arlington, I feel like we do a whole lot of whole house renovations and additions, because a lot of those houses don't have first floor masters. You know,
yeah, a lot of them were built 30s
Yeah.
and 40s.
Yeah,
So that's
yeah.
totally different. I guess their living requirements are different today. Yeah.
that's true. We do a lot of, like you said, kitchen and master bath renovations. There's a, you know, remember the days of the large corner tub with the big deck all the way around it that took up 2/3 of your master bath?
Don't forget the gold faucets. That
Oh,
went
I
along
know.
with-
Yeah. Well, you know, some of that to a degree is coming back,
I
but just a little
know,
different
I know.
version. But yeah, we do. I mean, you know, so the thing back then was a super big tub and then a teeny little shower over in the corner.
Yeah.
And now we're seeing you know, the complete reverse of that. Some people still want a tub. You know, we'll do a pretty soaker tub, a nice clawfoot, or, you know,
Yeah.
freestanding tub. And but what I really see a lot of is just larger showers. People wanting to be able to move around a little bit there.
Okay. Well, I was remiss. I forgot to say you are a member of the National Association of Remodelers.
Yes.
And I've seen a couple of your projects. One in particular was you were on the spring tour of Neary Homes, and you had a whole house renovation that you did top to bottom. And it was, well, you even did the outside patio.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Yeah, that house was fabulous. And that was I would describe that as, that's kind of a rebirth area where that project was. It was really unique.
Yeah, that whole Italian village area, I think, is seeing a lot of regrowth, if you will.
Yeah.
And that, you know, was definitely a challenging project. And a lot of those areas where you don't have any kind of off-street parking can really be a challenge. You know, you feel bad for the neighbors, you feel bad for everybody when we're blocking the streets and unloading cabinets and, you know, that kind of stuff. But yeah, that was a great project. The house had, I won't say significant structural issues, but we pretty much had to take it down to the stud and replace some of those and the floors.
Oh, I know.
And,
You did it all there.
Yeah. They did have some fairly recent updates to some of the mechanicals, but just about everything else had to go and be reworked. And it was just turned out great. It was a perfect example of that, you know, utilizing that smaller footprint and taking advantage of every square inch. And we worked with a fabulous designer on that project who's also a member of NARI, Mary Shipley.
Oh.
And she was so amazing to work with. She had a vision for that project for the decor, and actually one of the owners is her niece. So we had an in with Mary to really get that look we were going for, that slightly industrial look. So it was a great project.
Okay, so now let's talk a little bit about this. I say this is extremely important. You shouldn't work with a remodeler unless you think you can get along with them. Okay?
Absolutely.
Okay, now I'll give you a chance here in a minute. And I think part of that is, you know, obviously it's a personality thing when you meet somebody. But part of it is laying out, you're a design build firm. And I say this every week when I bring in a remodeler, everybody does it a little bit different. Why don't you describe what your design build is? Obviously, you just mentioned part of it. You do bring in designers too. But some of the things that maybe consumers need to be aware of, in other words, how do you help them help you to help them? Is that a way to say it? Because some people, some people, they have expectations, and I think it should be done this way, and that's not always correct as a customer. If you're going to work with somebody, find out what their process is and make sure that you're addressing what they need to do a good job for you. Okay?
So I would say that you wouldn't really expect how many different ways a project can get started for a homeowner. Sometimes it literally is, scribbles on a paper towel of an addition they'd like to do or a renovation they would like to do. Sometimes by the time we even hear from them, they've already worked with an architect. They have at least a preliminary sketch.
Okay.
We have several local architects that we work with, but we are very flexible in our process, and that if someone already does have an architect or just has a relative or someone they know that they'd really like to work with, we're always open to working with another architect, because it's just nice to have those different resources
Sure.
all around town. And I think there's a couple different components that it's that whole cart before the horse thing. The average homeowner wants to know some sort of ballpark number of what they're going to spend on a project before they spend too much money on blueprints and getting construction drawings and all that sort of thing. So it's kind of a little bit of a give and take. We have to figure out how to work with every client a little bit differently. If someone comes to us and they have a preliminary blueprint, they don't have construction documents, we don't know how the structure is going together, but we have the overall footprint, we can pretty much just from history, and when I say we, I mean Bob and Joe, because they do the numbers.
Okay.
But they can pretty much get a pretty close preliminary estimate, so that we can say, hey, you know what, we think this addition's probably going to be somewhere in the 175 to 225 range, depending on your finishes and the structure and that sort of thing. And sometimes that's enough for a client to feel comfortable enough that, okay, let's do this, we'll get the permits done, we'll get in for permit, let's get shopping, let's get into contract. Sometimes that number is still a broad enough range, or maybe it's a little more than they wanted, and then we are always willing to work back and forth with them and the architect and try to cater that project to what their number is.
Well, I'm sure, not to interrupt,
Yeah.
you run into people that feel that, well, I'm not going to give them a budget because then that'll influence the price that they're going to give me. And I have found that that's not correct when it comes to remodeling. There's a reality to remodeling. And you have to work, and that's part of this, you have to work with your remodeler, and it just has to be up front, or it's going to be a problem later.
Yeah, well, it really does. And we don't ever enter into contract with a client until we've had our entire team on site, plumber, electrician, HVAC, down to the trim carpenter. I mean, we want our whole group there to be able, not only just for the client to see the great group of people that we work with, because we do have some fabulous subs that we've worked with for years, but also for our team to be able to give some really good realistic numbers too.
Yeah.
It really is kind of, I mean, that preliminary estimate's the first part, but then we do this team meeting, this epic team meeting, and at the same time I'm trying to delve into the homeowners. You know, I'm either stalking them on Pinterest or Houzz or wherever they're
You're
saving
the
all their
design
pictures.
expert, right?
Well, and so I'm not a licensed designer, but you know, I've been around the block enough to know what this particular client's needs may be.
Okay.
Some people don't necessarily need, depending on the project, they may not need an outside designer to come in. But then, you know, as I said, we've worked with Mary Shipley. Ann Rogers is another fabulous NARI designer that we always recommend. Because if they really need someone to take them all the way from not just what the bathroom tile should be, but to what towels they want in the bathroom and what the bedspread should look like, you know, then we really do recommend that they bring a designer in so that they can have that total whole picture. A lot of people really struggle with the visualization of it.
Yeah,
and so,
that's me. I say it every week.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, it really does happen. Sometimes you just need that extra little step in the process to be sure that the client really understands exactly what it's going to look like when we're all done.
Well, you know how I describe there is a word out there that I take advantage of. It's called eclectic. That's my excuse for everything. Everything that looks bad in my house, I get, well, we're just eclectic.
Transitional is another.
Yeah, is that what? Okay, I'm going to put that in my, because I walk into my place and I go, what hillbilly designed this? Sorry, don't mean to offend the hillbillies. I didn't mean anything by that.
That's so funny.
But I don't. Everything, I don't even want to get into it. We can't even pick out paint colors. I'm telling you.
That's funny. Well, you know, I guess that is one very important conversation that I should mention that we try to have with our clients.
Okay.
So I had a call yesterday from a gentleman, and when his when I saw it come over on my phone, I happened to notice that it was an area code in the Louisville, Kentucky area.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm from the Lexington, Kentucky
We can't
area.
tell that you had a little bit of an
And,
accent. Go
maybe
ahead.
just a little. Maybe
You're
just
not
a
hiding it.
little. And, you know, I went to the University of Kentucky, and
Okay.
I bleed blue. So one of the first qualifying questions I had to ask this guy, I'm like, okay, I see you're from Louisville. Do you bleed blue, or are you a Cardinal fan? And he said, well, I got to tell you, I'm actually from the northern part of the state. He said, so I can be a little bit ambivalent. He said, but don't have this conversation with my wife, or you will not get this job.
Okay.
She's a Cardinal fan. So that's also, you know, sports affiliations are a big question too. But no, really, I mean, you know, back to that budget number. I think there are and I won't say this as if it's a common thing, but I'm sure there have been companies in the past that have taken advantage of clients because they knew their budget was $100,000 and maybe it only needed to be $75 for them to still make a good profit and get the job done. And maybe they did, you know, maybe there's a little bit of price gouging there, but you have to have some confidence level in the contractor that you're talking
To meet the level of expectation of the
Exactly.
customer. Well,
And
let
they're
me,
not gonna take
I'm
advantage.
going to interrupt you
Yeah.
and say this, because you said something really important. 75,000 is the actual cost, or what the project should have been. I don't have those type of people on my show. Okay. I tell everybody the only that's why
Yeah.
95% of the people that come on this radio show are people that are, let's say, very heavily involved in the remodeling industry, have fabulous reputations,
Yeah.
are like you belong to NARI, you belong to the professional organizations, and you're out there exposing yourself when you belong to those organizations and get involved. And, you know, if you belong to NARI has an ethics committee, and if there's a complaint that comes in, believe me, if you've done something bad, you will no longer be a member of NARI, and there's other building organizations around town like that too. So we don't have those people. You have a deserved reputation.
Well,
now, tell the folks, because we got to
Yeah,
take a break
yeah.
here real quick, and then we're going to do our favorite thing. You get to be the designer. Tell them how to get in touch with you, your website. You have a fabulous website, all that.
Thank you. Yeah, the website address is www.epicgroupohio.com. And I actually we work out of our home office, so
Yeah.
my phone number is actually one of the best ways to reach us too. It's 614-314-9063. And yeah, we're
Call you
available.
anytime.
You know what? I tend to go to bed kind of early, so you know, let's try to keep it to business hours. But yeah, we really do. I mean, this is a 7-day-a-week business.
Yeah.
Whether we're meeting with clients on the weekends because they work, or you know, we're always available.
We own our own business.
Yeah, that's
It's
exactly
7
right.
days a
It
week.
is.
Okay, we're going to take a short break. When we get back, we're going to talk with Susan about, I know the audience loves this, what are the current trends, colors, blah, 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 blah. We'll be right back. Okay. Perfect. Perfect. Huh?
You said that's a lot of blah, blah, blah. It is the season for that. That's just my quick tip.
Did I ask you to?
No. I just think
I'm the star here, as
I
Rachel
enjoy
said
it.
when she walked in. You just sit there and observe.
Listen, I'm like that lady that watched the monkeys in the
Oops,
jungle.
we're
to,
still
like, see
recording
their
on
behavior.
Facebook. We don't turn off. Okay, we're ready.
Got about 8 more minutes. No,
Okay,
people
because
want to
this
see
thing
you
kills
and
us
Michael. I'll
eventually.
point the camera at him, and people want to
Well,
see
we
you and
are.
Michael
We're on
argue.
Facebook right now.
That's so funny.
We
People
have
on
the best
Facebook
part.
have
Okay.
even said
We have
we
a
want to see
whopping
Michael
8
and
minutes,
Marty
real quick.
argue.
Yeah, that was good. That was good.
Nah, we like each other. Okay, I'm ready.
You ready, Susan?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, welcome back, everyone. Once again, we're talking with Susan Dyas of Epic Group Ohio, one of my favorite remodelers.
You're so good.
And one of the best in the city of Columbus. And I'm telling you, if you're thinking of a project, think of Epic Group Ohio. Go to their website, give Susan a call. She's a pleasant person, see? But we don't have a lot of time. But the trends, okay? I have to say this. I got what is it? I get Remodeling magazine online, and I got the paint thing yesterday. And one of the colors in there, I went, oh my gosh, it was like that. I can't remember the paint company. There was a bunch of them listed, but it was purple. And I'm going to tell you, it's not going to be a trend in my house, purple. I'm going to let you take over. You can talk about whatever you want, what's going on in kitchens, bathrooms, flooring, paint colors. I don't care. It's up to you.
Okay. So I guess I would have to say, you know, I enjoy seeing what the Pantone color of the year is going to be for you too. And you just need to remember that those typically are colors that should be best used as accents. You know,
good point.
Cute little throw pillows would be great in purple, but let's not paint your bathroom purple. Let's just not go there.
I'm not getting purple with a leopard rug, okay?
Yeah, I mean, trust me, it can be done. It can be done very well. But yeah, I would think that one of the biggest trends that I'm seeing right now is mixing metals, and it's been happening for a few years now, and it's still taking steam because that's hard for a lot of people to think about, like the antique gold light fixtures but still have brushed nickel or polished chrome faucets or that sort of thing. But you're seeing a lot of new metals and even like the matte finishes in appliances. You're seeing the metal.
So what do you mean exactly? I'm not sure I'm following you. Mixing metals. You mean instead of going with the same faucet all over the house?
Well, or even in the same, just because your faucet is brushed nickel doesn't mean that the cabinet pulls on your cabinets need to be brushed nickel,
okay.
and that your light fixtures need to be brushed nickel, and that all the accessories or appliances or legs on the cute little table need to be. You can really mix all those metals and get more of that eclectic look that you
Thank you. What's the other word? Transitional.
Transitional, yeah, is the other word I was
Okay.
talking about. But yeah, I think that it's tough for a lot of people. It's we're so, you know, we're so used to that matchy kind of look that, it's fun to push your boundaries with things like that, I think.
Okay.
Because even if it is, you know, and I'm not saying it's wrong to have brushed nickel on all of your faucets and all of your hardware and all of your lighting fixtures, but pull some of those other metals in to your accessories just to kind of, you know, freshen it up a little bit. The other thing that I see is as much as I have always been a lover of natural stone countertops, boy, the trend of quartz countertops is huge right now.
What makes quartz different than a marble or a... I don't know really the difference.
So granite and marble are very different in the way in which you have to care for them and have to treat them, and really the typical uses. So granite, I mean, you can pretty much use granite anywhere. You can use it outside on exterior kitchen, you know, outdoor kitchens.
Yeah.
You can use it on the face of your fireplace, kitchens, bathrooms, anywhere. And just about any granite that you purchase these days is going to be treated with a sealer that lasts for 15 years. So in the old days, that was the problem with granite. You had to treat it about every year. Kind of that whole wax on, wax off thing, you know. So it wasn't hard to do, but it was still something that you had to deal with. What we're seeing, and so then there was marble. Marble is beautiful. That white Carrara white marble with the gray veining is a very popular look. Martha Stewart always had it in her kitchen on all of her TV shows several years ago, and I don't know that we can, you know, blame Martha for it, but a lot of people want to see the look of marble, but they don't want to have to care for it the way marble needs to be cared for, because marble does stain very easily. Just a little softer stone. Okay. So while we still do a lot of marble in bathrooms, I only see it done in kitchens by someone who's really ready to just embrace the natural characteristics of the stone. Okay. They're not going to worry about any staining, that kind of thing. They're going to, you know, and a lot of that you can get out anyway. But yeah, the benefit of quartz though is that you can get something that looks like a natural stone, but you don't have the same care and maintenance. You don't have to seal it. You know, it's going to be, and I don't think any of them say they're 100% stain resistant, but they are resistant to staining. So where, you know, granite and marble are natural porous stones. So I think that with quartz you can accomplish a couple different things. You can get that very contemporary, clean look that maybe it's just a clear white countertop, which ironically is something we see a lot of these days.
Yeah.
Or you can get one that really does look just like marble, and you know you're not going to have to care for it the same way. So that really is the benefit of quartz.
And I just had another NARI member of the cabinet shop come over, and I'm putting up an entertaining wall, so to speak, or entertainment center area. And I'm happy you said the white, because my wife decided she wanted black cabinets on this wall, and she wants a white countertop, and then above that, this is really eclectic, she wants floating natural wood shelves.
Yeah,
So she's really going contemporary. And you know, I gave her some opinions, which she shut me down, and I finally said, "You and that guy design it. Just send me the bill as usual." I don't know. Okay, well, not you gave me an idea. I'm gonna direct her. I'm gonna say, go look at quartz.
Yeah, absolutely. She should look at quartz.
Okay, how much time we have left here, Jim? Oh, we're about at the end of it. See, it goes way too fast. Okay, I have to say thank you, Susan Dyas, Epic Group, Ohio. Fantastic remodeler. They do work, as she said, from Grandview all the way up to Powell. I know that because I deliver containers, dumpsters to them, and it's all over the city.
Town, yeah.
And they're busy as heck. And so if you're thinking, I would tell anybody this, that if you're thinking of doing a remodeling project, any remodeler that's worth their salt is scheduled out months and months right now. You need to give the remodeler a call or start your project now. If you're thinking of graduation next year for the kids, you better start calling the remodeler now, right?
Be well on your way.
On your way. Okay, Susan, I can't thank you enough. Tell the folks your website, telephone number real quick, and we'll wrap this up.
Absolutely. It's www.epicgroupohio.com, and the phone number is 614-314-9063.
Thanks for listening, everybody. Go out and make somebody happy today. We'll see you next week. All done.